Sit somewhere where you can be focused. If there is something to be finished, first finish it. Sit eagerly with the intention of healing your relationship with your parents. So, a big step toward mental happiness and emotional healing is to work on healing the relationship between you and your parents. It's a basic need to have a good connection with them. If that's not possible, then carrying no hate or disappointment towards them in our hearts can be a huge relief, as these emotions are heavy burdens. You should know that you've likely been disappointed by your parents many times because they couldn't always meet your expectations. When you came into this world, they were your only protectors. You had no other parents but them. And you loved them deeply because they gave you protection and attention. But as you grew old, that love might have faded. Perhaps they had other children and gave them more attention, leaving you feeling alone, unprotected, and unsafe. Maybe at times they even punished or disciplined you harshly, losing control of their behavior. This can be a deeply painful experience for a child. Take a deep breath and feel your emotions. When you felt disappointed by your parents, there were no alternative protector for you to turn to. You may have felt very lonely, anxious, and unsafe because your only protectors weren't always able to provide what you needed. Be aware that your heart may have been broken many times by them, and perhaps still is. Take a deep breath and feel your feelings. This is a deeply rooted wound in your unconscious mind. You've stored those painful memories, and sometimes your mind might even push aside good memories to make room for what it seems as more important ones. These negative memories remain to protect you, reminding you to avoid similar situations in the future. So keep in mind that there might also be good memories of your parents, but your mind tends to prioritize remembering the bad ones to keep you alert and guarded. Understanding this is a big step. Our minds prioritize storing negative and threatening experiences as a survival tool. This knowledge can help you recognize how your mind works. Take a deep breath. Another perspective that might help you to heal is to understand that being a parent can be very stressful and requires a lot of sacrifices. Whether your parents choose to have children or not, your presence likely changed their lives and took away certain freedoms. Family responsibilities require constant energy, vigilance, worry, and protectiveness, such as finding a good job to support the family. These stresses meant that your parents couldn't always be cheerful or full of energy around you. They needed to perform well at work to provide stability, which took a toll on them. Financial pressures alone are a heavy burden, but that wasn't the only challenge they faced. Your parents may have had unresolved issues from their own childhood, carrying anxiety, depression, or unresolved emotional wounds from their own parents. These struggles shaped the way they acted with you Our parents are our primary role models, and in our first 7 years, we learned most of our behaviors from them. Which we often reenact unconsciously as we grow older. If you can imagine your parents as children themselves, growing up in their own challenging environments, it might open a window in your mind to see their weaknesses, anxieties, and moments of failure from a deeper perspective. Another universal anxiety is the fear of aging. After age 30 or 40, many people begin to worry about growing old. Some may even seek cosmetic surgery to hold into their youth. Have you ever felt this anxiety yourself? Now imagine your parents experiencing similar fears as they aged while you were still young and full of life. This might have been another source of struggle for them, especially if they were unhappy in their own relationship. Perhaps they didn't feel fully supported by their partner. Which created further tension. Take a deep breath. Happiness is a universal desire. Some parents turn to alcohol or drugs as a coping mechanism when they are unable to find peace within. Addiction is complex. It can be both genetic and a response to unhappiness, an attempt to escape stress. Unlike you, they may not have had resources like meditation or self-reflection, using substances instead as their means of coping. There is scientific evidence of genetic predispositions to addiction. If your parents struggled with addiction, it might help to remember that just as you didn't choose your gender or family, they didn't choose to be predisposed to addiction. judging them for something beyond their control may not be fair. On top of their personal anxieties, childhood wounds, financial stresses, and relationship challenges, they couldn't be perfect for you. Each generation tends to be more informed and self-aware than the last. Your understanding is likely more developed than theirs. You know what you have experienced and have tools to work with, like awareness of how the mind operates. This emotional knowledge equips you to practice unconditional love more deeply than they could. With this new awareness, you can change your perspective. You have the power to shift from seeing yourself as a victimized child to being an observer of different experiences. Take a deep breath. You can choose to be a wise observer, seeing others, parents, partners, friends, from a broader, higher perspective, like an eagle flying above, seeing all the details. If you are committed to healing your wounds, it's important to understand your mind and how it works. Over time, you will see things from different perspectives. Don't deny or ignore your wounds. Acknowledge them. Accept that you have been hurt and stay gentle with yourself. If you feel depressed or disappointed, be aware of these feelings and hold yourself. Be your own parent and hold your wounds. Don't try to push them away or distract yourself. When you truly understand and give your wounds the love and attention they need, they will begin to heal. You will find a space to understand others with more compassion. With time, you will be able to accept anyone unconditionally without needing them to change. You will learn to love yourself as you you are. And you will extend this unconditional love to everyone. Parents, partners, and friends. This capacity for unconditional love and compassion is within everyone, as limitless as the galaxy. It only requires practice, awareness, and an understanding of how our minds work. When you understand your mind's role, you can thank it. Thank you, mind, for trying to protect me. You were a good tool. But now I have other tools. Understanding, compassion, spirituality, and self-awareness. Use these new tools to experience life with a fresh perspective, knowing you can still call on your mind when you need it. Take a deep breath here. There may never be a time when nothing can make you sad. But there will come a time when you understand everything deeply.